Welcome to the Empowered Lifestylers podcast, a movement and community designed to help you live your best life and reconnect you back to the things that really matter. Today, Anne and I come to you with some really exciting news, some projects that we've been working on behind the scenes, and the release of our new book, Creating Conscious Kids, helping our children find their happy place in the age of distraction. Now, if you followed us for any amount of time, you'll know we're super passionate about not only raising our own 3 children the best way that we possibly can, but also to empower parents on the journey, because it can be a tough ride and there is no real instruction manual when it comes to trying to do our best and navigating all of the ins and outs that parenting throws at us. Plus, layering on top of that, the challenges that we face in raising our children in the world we live in today. We're faced with technology and distractions and so many other challenges that maybe we didn't have when we were growing up. So excited to share this episode with you and the release of our new book and some epic hints and tips that you can implement with your family as of today that will make a huge difference in your level of connection and fun and empowerment. Let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Kate and Ant here from Empowered Lifestylers. It's been a little while since we've had a chance to sit down and record a podcast and get in front of you, and we've got so much news to share with you.
It's been busy. I don't particularly like the word because sometimes it's a bit of a reflex. How you been? Oh, really busy. But it's proper being busy, hasn't it?
And very fulfilling. We have been behind the scenes. Farm life has been amazing. Lots of stories to share with you there. But really diving into the passions that we have around empowering families to live their values, connect with their children, and really get to live life on their own terms. And behind the scenes, we have gone ahead and we've just released our second book, Creating Conscious Kids, which we are very excited to bring to you and talk with you more about, because if there's one thing we know right now, parents are feeling the weight of parenting in the 21st century, and it's heavy, and we're navigating a whole new, experience for people. So it's just about bringing that to the forefront and giving you empowered tools to be able to absolutely thrive through that.
Well, I love the tagline of the book, not just because I came up with it. Helping kids find their happy place in the age of distraction.
Yeah.
So let's dissect that. What is the happy place? Because I think there's a lot of, I'm going to call it foo-foo, just like follow your bliss, kind of life is all butterflies and rainbows. And it's just not. There's always an equal amount of support and challenge. Mm-hmm. When you look at a definition of love, it's a complementary opposite of support and love. Mm-hmm. When we look at yin and yang and good and bad and dark and light and male and female. And so when there's always those polar opposites, it's about you going, well, there's both of those in the pursuit of what's most important to me.
Yeah.
The piece that's often missed is, well, let's take the time and find out what is most important to you as a parent, but also for you as your children. And that's what values are. Yeah. And if you can help yourself as well as your children find their highest values, and you're creating a week where there's a lot of time, energy, focus in those values, that is the happy place. Mm. It's not eating chocolate, gaming all the time, as in their happy place.
Well, I think the definition of love is actually it's giving your children not just what they want, but what they need, right? And I've been on a lot of calls with amazing, amazing parents over this last kind of month. And they're having this tug of war between, wanting to show their kids that they love them. But what they're doing is they're telling them what they're not doing right. They're telling them what has to get done. And they're feeling like the Uber driver, the cook, the chef, the social life organizer, and they actually are missing out on that deep connection that I think really all parents genuinely want with their kids. And so it's how do we piece it together with the busy life that a lot of parents have? You've got lots of moving parts to things. And then how do you piece it together to have meaningful and quality relationships? And if you were to speak to every parent out there, we all want to help our kids find their happy place. But sometimes we need to slow down, take a little time out on what we're currently doing in order to create some white space and actually have the time, the deliberate time to communicate with our kids one-on-one, as a collective, if you've got more than one child, to really dive into what lights them up.
Yeah. And I think the premise behind it is really admirable. You want to be a great mum, a great dad. And so it's all about you putting what's important to you aside, and your little angel, your little bundle of joy, putting them up on a pedestal, like what's important to them is more important. And I can relate at times. I just feel like a servant, following them around, picking stuff up. I've got to go there, driving them there. And you get a little bit disgruntled. The energy builds up, and then it comes out in an outburst. Well, what about me? I don't know if anyone can relate to, am I just talking to myself here?
Look at everything I'm sacrificing for you. You should be so grateful.
You should. And as soon as you say you should all over yourself and your child.
Yeah.
So it is, as my beautiful wife just said, it's taking the time to stop and go, what is most important to you? What makes time stand still? This weekend, if you could do anything, what would you love to do? Today as the holiday. So always being intentional with the time ahead, and then hearing, listening, extracting, eliciting from, drawing out what is important to them, and then saying, I hear you. What I'm hearing is this. Then you get to share, and if you do this enough times, hopefully your children go, what would be important to you, Mummy?
Yeah, that's
just, oh.
Okay, they see me. I'm just not an Uber driver for them. It is pretty cool when that does happen.
And then when you have these conversations, you're teaching them about communication. You're teaching them about you are not the center of the universe. You are part of it, and you're an important part of it, and you get to have an effect on other people that are important to you. You teach them how life really works, whether for them to step into a relationship, friendship, work, career, whatever it might be.
Yeah. So first thing, I think our intention for this particular episode and time with you today is to have you start creating time and asking yourself some of the questions that we're going to pose to you, and also to get yourself a copy of our amazing book. We are very proud of the, I think the value that families are receiving from it already. So if you go to consciouskidsbook.com, you'll be able to get your hands on a copy, digital form, also audiobook, and there's some other amazing bonuses that you can jump into as well. But I think, again, I've been chatting to a lot of parents of late, caught up in the busy, and this might be you right now. You're listening to this while you're driving, home from a pickup or off to sport or something. And rather than just telling our kids about the schedule of the week and here's what we're doing, we want you to start thinking about what are some questions you can ask them, such as, hey, the weekend's going to be here before we know it. I love spending quality time with you. What is one thing that we could do together, either just you and me or as a family, that you would love to have happen this weekend? Like actually asking them what matters. What would you love to do with me? So it could be a board game. It could be a walk on the beach. It could be going and kicking the footy in the park. It could be taking the dogs for a swim. It could be playing guitar together. Like there's so many things that if we just tell them all the time what we're going to do, they kind of feel not as important. And this will start to carve out a really beautiful relationship with you when they feel seen and heard. Mum and dad, or, if you're in a parenting role, maybe you aren't their birth parent but you're just there in support, to say they see me, they want to do something with me that's fun, and I get to tell them what I love, and they're actually going to make time for me to do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. When you think about it from the child's perspective, though, like you said, I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm understood, I'm loved. Tick. Big thing to be aware of for your child.
Yeah.
But number two, it teaches them to be deliberate with their time, to have a vision for what they want to create.
Yes.
Now, what's the default to this? What's the downside? You wake up, it's Saturday morning, the day gets away, and what's your child's habit? What do they go to? It's a screen, right? It's typically, well, if there's not something fulfilling in the real world, I'll go to the digital world.
Yeah.
And so that's why that title of the book, Helping Your Child Find Their Happy Place. What are their vision? What are their values? How do you create a curriculum that's full of that in the age of distraction? Because if you don't, distraction is the default. And when you look at the algorithms, when you look at multi-million-dollar marketing budgets with very clever people putting these algorithms together, it's going to win.
Yeah.
As soon as your child opens that screen, it is calling to them. It already has a digital profile of your child, of everything they've ever watched, ever seen, and it's been tagged at a different time of the day. And so it's clever, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it might be. The data it has collected on your children will blow your mind. It knows your child better than your child knows itself, and knows your child better than you from a marketing standpoint. And you think about, if I'm a company and I want to put money to advertise with one of these platforms, the thing that they're selling me is data. They know everything about a child, and so they know how to keep a child. But what about you? What about when you open the screen, I just want to check a quick message in WhatsApp to see what's happening with the kids' soccer tomorrow. Next thing, bing, Sally, your friend, pops up because she's going live. And then you click there and then an ad comes up, and you haven't even spoken about wanting that thing from the shops. You just thought it, but now it's already targeting you. And 15, 20 minutes went by, and all you want to jump on was a few seconds and check the soccer tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's super, super clever. And so how do we win that war? And most parents don't know how. They're absolutely struggling, losing their relationship with their precious little one because screens are winning.
Yeah. And I mean, research now shows the average child spends about 30% of their waking hours on a screen. And in modern families, they're spending just 5 hours face-to-face with their kids. And when we say face-to-face, it's actually like having it's, maybe it's over the table eating a meal or something, because life is just busy. We've got lots of moving parts. So how do we bring it all back so that you can start to create some beautiful habits and culture in your home that the screen isn't the go-to? Because it starts with you. Because if kids see mum and dad on their phone and they're telling the kids to get off, well, that's not going to work, right? So it starts with you. And it could look something like having a box that everyone's technology goes into at a certain time of the afternoon. And then from then until an agreed upon time, it's quality time, it's family, it's board games, it's pets, it's reading, it's homework, it's cooking a meal together, whatever that might look like. And it doesn't matter what's going on, airplane mode, and everyone is present together. That could be something that you might want to implement. Another thing you could do is, having tech-free time, or where, one of the things that we had the kids say to us when, hey, what would you love to do with us? They were like, we want to play a video game with you. And we're like, oh, no.
I did that. You didn't. You used to love Sonic the Hedgehog.
I did. And so I can relate to that feeling. So, but if they want to do it with you, then it's about asking them, okay, what do you love about this? What are you learning about this? How is this challenging you? Asking good questions rather than just having a hard no. Because let's be real, we can't avoid technology. It's around us. It's forming a part of the way we do life, right? So that's how do we embrace it, but use it wisely. If you are recognizing your children love fishing or art or photography or whatever it might be, then maybe there's videos that they can be watching if they are having screen time where they're learning something, where they're actually doing something that's adding to their passions and up-leveling their skill, versus just mindless scrolling and things like that too.
Or we can come from it from the other way. I had this experience. I walked in and the kids are all sitting there watching YouTube, but they're watching a gamer play a game and commentate what he's doing. And I lost it. I was like, either you be the person doing this and being the role model for others, or just play the game. I didn't understand. And so I had this outburst and I walked out of the room, and then I came to and I thought, I just totally disregarded what they value.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the things they could be doing in that moment, of where we live, by the beach, all the things they could do, that was what they were choosing to do. So somewhere in their little hearts, it's important to them. So I went back in and I sat with them and I said, tell me what you love about this. What excites you about it? What makes you laugh? And I got in and I saw what they were looking at through their eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been such an idiot, because I've come in kind of pushing my values on them instead of, wait a second, let's see what the world looks like from their perspective. Mm. And the guy was incredibly funny. He was creative. He was giving them tips on how to succeed. And so if you can extract that and then you want to kind of suck them out of that screen world into the real world, you've got the recipe now. You know what they look for and what brings them joy. And so if they're looking for adventure and how to overcome things, how about you just look at how do you gamify your life? How do you gamify your weekend? Let's go on a treasure hunt. Let's do whatever's relatable to them. Mm. Our little boy, he'll watch fishing videos all the time. Well, it's a pretty easy hint. Well, let's actually just go fishing instead of watching all fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our challenge to you as you listen to this episode is to start to think about the family dynamics that you have, the ages of your kids. If you've got little ones, obviously you're going to be leading this a little bit more. But, you know, if your children can have a conversation with you, like 4, 5, 6 years old and above, there's no reason why you can't sit down and say, hey, I want to have a really special weekend with you this weekend. I'd love to know what are some things that you want to do just with mum or just with dad or just with an auntie or whoever it might be. And what do you love to do as a collective that maybe we've done before, that you had lots of fun, that we haven't done it in a while? What's something you'd love to learn? And actually go into quality time with a plan that is actually speaking to the values of your children. When you do that, the fun, the connection, the distraction disappears, and you just get to really step into quality time with your little ones or big ones on a whole new level, which is so special and rewarding.
Yeah, so I know through our book, it's the best work we've ever done, and there are hundreds and hundreds of questions that we've put in there. And if we look at that word question, the word quest, it's about having a vision, having a goal. And when you ask the right questions, it's not you projecting onto them. A quest is how you bring out of your child what's important to them. So the series of questions asked in a particular format for different outcomes is really clever, really clever. So I unashamedly will give it a good promotion. I think the value that will add to your life and your family in under 2 weeks, like it's a quick read, it's an easy read, but you can apply the principles into practicals and see the rewards immediately.
Yeah, regardless of the ages of your children.
Absolutely.
And if you have little ones, then it's about the conversation you have with your partner or your support team that you have around you to be like, all right, well, how do I want it to be? Because you kind of got a blank slate, which is really exciting as well.
So we're excited to have you read the book, but also we are over the series of the next few podcasts. We're going to dive deeper. you'll see our style of writing is warts and all. It's not, we're not the gurus. We're not the look to us. We get it all right.
Definitely don't pretend to be perfect. We've had that moment of like yelling at our kids to stop yelling. And then, you catch yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? We've certainly seen it all. Our kids are now 12, 14 and 16. So we're definitely entering a new phase of boyfriends and girlfriends and all of that fun stuff. And I'm really proud of the way we're navigating it, not to say that we're getting it right all the time. But I think it's also important as we're all learning and growing with our kids. We're growing up with them, right? And when we can pause and tell a story of like maybe when we had a similar stuff up in the past, or when we can apologize for a crappy 5 minutes that maybe we just lost our cool and did not show up how we want to, that speaks volumes to our children because it's setting the example of how they get to show up in the world.
Yeah, so we're excited to dive into the chapters of the book and kind of go even deeper behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Reveal, obviously there's only so much you can put into the written word. So stay tuned. We'd love to get some feedback, hear your comments. And if you've got any questions, please ask and we can address those in future podcasts.
Definitely. So go to consciouskidsbook.com where you can get your copy. We also have a free Facebook community for conscious parents that are really wanting to connect with other like-minded families and just learn and grow more. So we'll pop the link into the show notes as well. And excited to share more with you and just see the connection that you have with your family grow to an even deeper level. So I hope that you've got some takeaways there that you can go ahead and start implementing with your family right now. We would love to hear feedback from you. Either connect with us on our socials, or you can also jump on our website, empoweredlifestylers.com, where you can let us know some of the changes that you're making and the difference that you've seen with your family connection. We just love that. The links to join our free Facebook community for raising empowered families is in the show notes, alongside of the link to get your copy of the book, Creating Conscious Kids. Until next time, guys, stay awesome, keep dreaming big, and we cannot wait to catch you on the next episode.